Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Theresa and I am Craftygrams. I am finally at my new permanent workspace. So excited. The rest of the room's a hot mess, but I'm getting it together. So today we're gonna see if I can make these beautiful papers from Victoria Designs into this folio. This is a prototype that is really jacked up because I glued front pages to back pages instead of double-sided printing pages. So there's the prototype. Here are the pages, and Theresa's gonna try. Okay, so I've got everything cut out and inked for the most part. Now, as I said, this is a Victoria Designs kit and folio design. On YouTube, the tutorial is mini folio tutorial with all the printables for free and done in the colorway navy blue and gold. Now, this was done about a year ago, 11 months ago, it says on YouTube. But what I have done is I've purchased the kit off of her Etsy shop, and it is in the Creative Chronicles design is the design. She has, now if you look on YouTube and search Creative Chronicles, it's going to show up an entire journal using, a full kit of these pages in this colorway, which is sort of a teal and brown, which I personally love. So as I said, I've got everything cut out and mostly inked. I've been using archival ink in ground espresso, which I just feel fits the colors better. As I said, this is my first attempt, which I didn't print things double-sided when I made this, so 2 pages are glued together where they should have been double-sided, as is this one. It's completely coming apart. But anyway, so normally when she does a tutorial, she starts with the cover, but this kit actually has a lot of parts that need to be glued, excuse me, prior to being put in the folio. So I'm just going to go through here and pull out the cover bits that are not going to be used right away. And this is this. These, she's calling this a waterfall pocket element, but what it actually is an accordion. She's got it on the inside here, and she's calling this a waterfall effect, or pockets. But these are, to me, these are accordion, but it's whatever. So there's that in there. I just left it hanging outside all by its lonesome. So that's what these are. This is that back flap. So we'll start with the envelopes because they confused me the most. But everything, almost everything needs like gluing time to dry or whatever. So yeah, I think that's why she did the cover bits last. And these are the cards for the inside the pockets. We'll use her words, the waterfall pockets. And then, so we'll start with, as I said, we will start with the envelopes. So this is what sort of caught me off guard about the envelopes. The bottom flap and the rest of the envelope both have attachable, for whatever, lack of a better term, they have attachable strips on them. So what it is instead of each piece being attached to the folio, this bottom flap, this piece which will become the bottom flap of the actual envelope, will be held on with this flap or attachment strip, and then this attachment strip will hold the whole envelope into the folio. So yeah, so there's an attachment strip glued inside the envelope, and then there's one glued underneath this cover page. So yeah. So let me just show you how that's done. Right. So first of all, of course, we have to fold everything. Now she, she used a scoreboard, which I am just not. I just have never been able to use one. So I'm going to use this, which it's a Fiskars cutting paper cutter that I've just attached a Fiskars scoring tool to. So, yeah. What she called to attention in her video was this darker line, which is actually the fold line, but she has the pattern sort of hang over that so that there won't be any white showing when you attach it attach it to its component. So I'm just gonna score that on that line, even though I have to fold it the opposite direction, I guess. And the only problem with this, using this to score things with, is it leaves a rather wide score line, or, tram line, whatever you want to call it. So I've got that one scored, and now I'll do this one. I just wonder how long it's going to be before I get the two confused and cut something I'm supposed to be scoring. But, so far so good. All right, so I'm gonna fold those the opposite direction. Fold it this way and just burnish it a bit. And then I will glue it so that this fold line is just above, as I have it oriented here, it's just above this score line. So what I'm gonna do is ink this on this fold line, and then I will fold this one the correct way and ink it. So there's minimal, I keep forgetting these round ones don't sit up on their own, do they? Yeah. I have a love-hate relationship with them. All right, so let me get this one. This one is going to go into the folio this way. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it this way. Give it a bit of a crease. And then ink it. Yeah, this particular connecting piece, one will be inserted in the folio facing this way, and the other one will be inserted in the folio with this connective piece facing that way. And it will make sense as we assemble the actual folio. But for now, we just want to get these pieces done so the glue can be drying. Right, so again, I've scored that there and folded it. Then I'm going to put glue on this connective strap. And make the actual envelope. That's what we're doing right now, making the actual envelope bit. So I will be using the wet glue. She used a glue, geez Louise. She used a glue strip or glue stick in order for, you know, speed of action for the video. But I want it to stay together, so I'm going to use wet glue. I mean, for longevity, I guess the best thing would be double-sided tape. But I am not that good at placing things that precisely, and that double-sided tape does not give you any wiggle time to adjust. So this, as I said, I'm just attaching to the inside of the envelope, close to but not on the other score line. So I'm just going to give that a bit of a rub with my wipe. Right, so now I'll fold the rest of the envelope flaps in, but again, in order to see where exactly they have to be, they're supposed to be folded, I will have to look at the other side to fold along the darkened score line. And yes, I messed that up. I put that too high, but again, no one will see it because it is on the inside of the envelope. Don't tell anyone I made that mistake. Sorry. Okay, so as I said, we'll turn it this way. And I'm just going to use my ruler for this one. Let's start over here. It's just easier to me. It's not going to fit on my scoreboard, right? My cutting board, whatever. It's not going to fit on it easily, so we're just going to do it this way. So it fits a little more easily. We get the process completed a little more quickly, a little more expeditiously. Is that right? Expediently. What? I'm saying. Sometimes words are hard. So this was supposed to be my Friday video, but we had rough storms here where I live in Georgia yesterday into last night, so I was just not able to. My internet goes wonky in the bad weather. Sorry, I need a drink. Okay, so right, I have all of them scored. Let's get them folded in the proper direction. I'll do these sides first. I'm sorry, I keep turning it every which way. Right, and the reason to do them first is to glue these. Glue the bottom flap down and hope that I don't glue the whole thing closed. That is not the object of the game. There we are. Okay, let me just do a little more inking along here and here. I think it just makes it look a little more uniform, and again, that's why I chose the darker ground espresso, because it seems to match better with what was on the printed papers. Okay, so got that done. Let's go ahead and make the other one that's going to go in there. Now, as I said, this one, the connective strip was folded towards the front of the envelope. This one, the connecting strip is going to be folded towards the back of the envelope because they flop. They're attached to different pieces of the actual folio cover, if that makes sense. It will make sense. It will all make sense. Right. I am going to score this along the printed line. I'm just using my, I don't know, scraper device to get that a little more defined. There we go. And around all four sides, and then I will ink these folds. Eventually, when I get done making all the folds. Yeah, this takes a bit more time than the scoreboard, but I don't know. I just find that even though it takes a little more time, the lines are much more straighter than if I use the scoreboard, and I can't explain that like at all. And I've tried several different scoreboards. The best way I found to get the line straight is by using this scoring tool, but again, sometimes it leaves, I mean, it does always leave a rather wide score line, but 'tis what it is. Okay, so let's attach this again. We're going to attach it to the inside. Burnish that a little. Put some art glitter glue. That's what I refilled my Nouveau bottle with. It's art glitter glue with a little bit of regular white glue. It just seems to not plug the nozzle as much with the just plain white Elmer's school glue. That's what's on there. That's what's in there. Like I said, about a half and half mix. It lasts just as well. The adhesion lasts just as well. And, you know, you know, the usability is easier because you're not stopping all the time to unclog the nozzle. And then it also, you know, makes it a little more cost effective because our glitter glue ain't exactly cheap. So putting a little bit of plain white school glue in there, and I'm not gonna say I always use Elmer's because it's really and truly whatever I can get my hands on. That makes it a bit more affordable too. So it's a multi-win situation in my opinion. All right, I'm just gonna ink these sides, ends, I guess, and then this fold here. Go ahead and zhuzh that a little bit. I really like this ground espresso color. Not even gonna lie, I like it. I thought, well, maybe it was too grungy, but I really, really like it. Okay, now we're going to address closure. We need some closure. So I'm going to use, what am I going to use? I'm going to use little Velcro dots, clear Velcro dots. Now, this is something I've learned the hard way. The Velcro dots obviously have two sides. This one is more visible. I don't know whether it's the hook side or the loop side, to tell you the truth. But that side, I want to be on the side of the envelope that's going to be less noticeable. So I'm going to put it in the flap. Right there, middle-ish. Middle-ish, a little bit better. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And then I just take the opposite element, put it on there, so that when I close it, it is perfectly aligned. And see, it doesn't interfere. The clear side does not detract from the printed paper. So we'll do that again. The white piece on the inside of the envelope. Hopefully a little bit centered, a little bit better centered than that. I'm going to end up putting some glue on here because I'm just wearing that glue out. And you know, sometimes that happens. There, I think that's much better. And now I need a clear piece to match it. Ooh. Again, just attach the Velcro bits so that then the adhesive bit is just where you need it to be. Lovely. Right, let's put them to the side to let everything dry, I guess. Put my Velcro dots away. All right, next, what are we going to work on next? Not that, I forgot to get that together. I'm going to make that into, that's intended to be a booklet, so I need some booklet pages. So we're going to do the waterfall, or, accordion element next. And again, we require some scoring. Just going to use the same method I've been using. Get my little fella here. And these little attaching flaps are just the same way as the other ones were. They've got a separate fold line than the end of the the decoration so that there's no, in theory, there's no white pieces showing. Which when I inked these, I did ink inside of here, not that you can see on this one very well. I backed two of them, one sheet of paper with the brown and one sheet of paper with the blue. And what I did on this piece is I inked around it so that when I fold them, if there's a little bit of overlap, it'll be less obvious. So, okay, I'm gonna fold these back the way they're supposed to be. Crease them down and then ink. I'm just gonna ink this from the one side. I think that should be efficient or sufficient. Wow, words are really, really hard for me today. So we'll fold that up and see how I did. Like so. See, there's a bit of overlap there, but you can hardly tell because I have inked the edge of that inside. Right, so now, speaking of inking, I'm gonna ink the fold. I mean, not that it's gonna be super visible once you put it in the journal, the folio, but it's just the way I gotta do it. Okay, I'm gonna fold them all and ink them all, and then I'll glue them all. Kind of like an assembly line. So, score, sorry, not that kind of score. Although I do have the ball game on in the living room, so I can hear just a little bit of it. And I know that we are playing in Atlanta, so that if the crowd gets excited, it's something good for the Braves. Like that. And back like that. And I'm having a hard time with this one. She don't want to play nice. That's pretty good. Come here. Well, there's some noise going on in the stadium in Atlanta. Hopefully that means good things. All right. All right. I have my fan on in here because it is so humid. This room that's the only downside of the room I have chosen to be my new craft space. It is not the coolest room in the house. There's no ceiling fan, and I don't know, it just seems to have a lot more sun exposure, maybe. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I just know it's warm in here. But that's okay. My little fan is the little fan that could. I've got a bit of a, I don't know, paper burr there. I'm gonna cut off. Just cut it off. I'll worry about that when I get to the inking process. daughter called me earlier in the day and said, "Are you home?" "Yes. Can you come get us?" I'm like, "Oh, where are you?" They had a flat tire on their car, and it's between humid and off and on rain. It's just not the day to be on the side of the road anywhere. So, of course, Mama to the rescue. And then her husband took the car to the tire shop, and she and the baby, not a baby, he's a toddler, but she and my 1-year-old grandson stayed here and hung out with me for a while. It was lovely. Oh, look at that big flaboo. Rawr. It's folded on the fold line. I must have an error during the cutting process, but I will fix that after I get it glued together, and then I will ink it. I do need to go ahead and fold it. This is the closure that holds the waterfall pockets together right here. So I made an error when I put this one together because I used a magnet, but there's a magnet in here and a magnet behind these buttons, but I made the mistake of, before I knew how this was going to be used, I reinforced it with some cereal box cutouts, and that was too thick for the magnet to go through. So it was just too much for that magnet to handle. So I'm gonna correct that situation this time. That's my bad for not watching the video closely enough before I just go to doing what I think I should do. Right, I'll fold this back. And again, I've inked the inside of it so that when I do fold it, any of the cutting errors, I guess, are not obvious with bright white cardstock showing through. Right, so that actually turned out pretty darned good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get the magnet, one side of the magnet, or one small magnet. I have these like super duper tiny magnets I got at Amazon, and again, I have a love-hate relationship with them because they're so tiny, they're practically impossible to notice even by touch, but they're so tiny, they're kind of hard to deal with. In my brilliant self, when I was doing the other one, I thought, oh, well, I'll just use my tweezers to... No, I will not use the tweezers, because guess what? They stick to the tweezers. So now the glue that I was going to use to hold it in place is all over my fingers instead of on the magnet. I mean, it'll be like, I'll put it in place by gluing the whole thing shut, but still. This is Oogie Boogie. Just put that around there and around the rest of it. I probably should be on my glue book for this to make sure that it doesn't zhuzh out. And again, more glue in the middle of it to sort of keep the magnet from slipping or sliding, or, you know, otherwise misbehaving. Right, let me just ink this crease here. And when Tinne at Victoria Designs, she did the blue and gold one in the video that she used to demonstrate, she rounded the corners that were gonna come, but since this is supposed to be, she rounded the corners of this, and it made a very beautiful little, you know, with that page design, it made a very beautiful little element. But since that's supposed to be a measuring tape, I'm gonna leave it square, because I have never seen a measuring tape with rounded corners. Have you? Yeah, right. So there you have it. Yeah, this guy's just coming right apart. So I'm just gonna take a second to do some damage control. Again, I really don't know what to do with with this one now that I've done it, but I hope to continue, you know, doing this kind of series, I don't know, so that maybe I will have a journal full of things that Theresa tried from not just Victoria Designs, but there's, oh wow, I think the bottom just fell out. I hope they don't have to delay the game. Yeah, okay, well, it's all about the baseball game. Anyway, I hope to be able to continue this series of Theresa Tries It and have projects from not only Victoria Designs, but I know there are several other creators that do all kinds of different folios and kits and projects using scrapbook papers and stuff, or printed papers, you know, whatever. But yeah, I'd like to continue that, and then I can make a whole collection of those in something. We'll see. We'll see how well received this one is. Right, so I'm going to start gluing and then inking. So this is getting glued here. And really, I just need to ink. Well, I need to glue both sides of it, don't I, honey? Come on, woman. Get your head in the game. So, yeah. I just really need to ink the bottom here. And I do need to do these sides because they were not yet folded when I was doing my mass inking. So I'm gonna let it dry a minute, well, till I get the rest of them done, and then I'm gonna cut. There's a blue stripe there. I'm just gonna cut that off. Right. Glue, glue, glue. All I need is glue. Glue, glue, glue. Again, see, yeah, I think it, and then I just about make it happen. I always worry about putting too much glue on these kinds of things because I do not want them to glue closed. That is totally not the purpose. I'm going to turn that page because it feels like it's sticking a little. So there we go. Bit of ink, I think. Can't tell which side had the little gusset pieces on it. I wish I knew how to edit when I'm doing something like this. I'd like to put something on the screen that says ASMR incoming because I cannot talk while I'm doing these silly things with the gluer, or if I'm cutting. It's just silly. So it just gets all quiet. Just gets really quiet. Which I don't think anyone would ever accuse me of being. I am not a quiet person. It's okay. You can't be a quiet person when you're the youngest of 7. I mean, you just get lost. You just get lost. Ugh. Can't glue it with the ink, honey. I'm telling you. I got some issues going on today. Too much on my mind. My oldest children are traveling this weekend. They went down to Panama City Beach for just a little quickie vacation. They left on Thursday, and I presume they'll be headed home tomorrow. But it's just the weather being so rainy that I worry about them driving in the rain. And then my son is an extremely, extremely pale redhead, and I worry about him burning. Okay, I know he's 29 years old, but he's still my baby. They're all my babies. Doesn't matter how old they get. My oldest daughter's 38. She's still my baby. They're all babies. Looks pretty good. Okay, so that's all of those done. Now, there's several that I really feel like I need to do take some corrective action. I will see if I can do it on my cutty thingy, but I don't want to take any, length off of the pocket. I just want to, I'm just going to have to use my scissors and pray. And then I will have to ink it again. See, this paper is pretty much thick enough where if I put the blade of the scissors next to the correct side of the pocket, I'll be all right. Wow, can't hold on to the dauber. There. Like it never even happened. Like it never even happened. That one looks okay. Where's the blue? Oh, look at the right side of it. That's a bit much. All right. Ink this one up. It makes it pretty easy to get the inside edge there too. Because, I mean, since it is a gusseted pocket, you can see the first bit of the inside of it. So I like to have it nice and neat and not bright white. I gotta cut this one down too. Ugh. Why am I made like this? Dunno. 'Tis what it is. I'm used to it after all these years, I guess. May as well be. Not gonna change. Not gonna change a thing. Okay. Where was the blue one that was such an overhang? There it is. There she blows. So, okay, yeah, I ended up trimming all of them down. It's okay. It's okay. It's just paper, and nobody's perfect, right? Right. Okay, now, when Tinne did hers, well, that made a big mess. When Tinne did her attaching these together, she just sort of, she measured, found the exact center of them. I am not that precise, so I'm just gonna take my glue runner thingy and put a blob down there and put them together very neatly. And not, I don't want to press too tightly on the, or too firmly on the glue yet, in case I have to slide something once I get them all assembled. I want to make sure they're all, the sides are even, the bottom's even, you know, all that stuff, like that. Now, I can mush that down pretty firmly. Okay, once again, putting that aside to dry. Hold that thought for 1 second. I hear my phone going off. Right, normally I ignore my phone or turn it off, turn the ringer off while I'm filming, but you know, since my son's traveling and my daughter had troubles with her car, all fixed now. They got a new tire on it. Excuse me, I needed a drink. I just, you know, felt the need to answer just in case something was going on. Oh, I should have gotten my papers together for my wee booklet while I was up and about. Right, well, she can wait a minute. Okay, so the next thing we're going to work on is I wish I'd get myself together. Right. The next thing we're going to work on is, these are pockets. And these are wee journal cards to go in the pockets. So I'm going to fold them. Now, you know, you can decide to fold them and leave them open, put some lines for journaling space in here, whatever. That would be, you know, obviously perfectly acceptable as well. But what I am going to do is what Tinne did on the video with the blue and gold colorway, is that she, and I had never thought of doing this, but I might just do this very often in the future. Instead of putting the page tabs on, you know, attaching them like that, or on the front and back, she glued them closed and attached them in the middle before she glued the journal card or the, you know, pocket insert closed, which I very, very much like that idea, because let me show you how neat it looks on the finished thing. I mean, I realize that doesn't leave any journal space for that, but you could definitely put other elements in there. There's plenty of room. Like there's, you know, there's only one tag per pocket here. This will be a good writing spot when it's done, you know, as a booklet, as it's supposed to. But there's no ephemera included in the kit to go in these envelopes. There's plenty of space for journaling if you know, whatever you want to end up doing with it. It's just sky's the limit. So I'm going to go ahead and you know, score these along the printed line spine of it, if you will, and get the tabs attached on the inside and move on to the next, which I think we are getting very close to the actual journal cover and inserting things. There's a certain order you have to do the gluing and the inserting so that everything is nice and neatly finished and really very professional looking, for lack of a better term. So these get folded thusly. I'm going to go ahead and ink the little spines. Like so. Then I will bring my blue book, my glue book. Boy, I'm going back to college where I got, anyone remember having to take tests in blue books? Yeah, maybe not. Right, I will glue the tab closed, and I have inked around the tabs already. Also, a quite clever trick that Tinne demonstrates in the video is that you don't cut the white pieces off of the page tabs until you've got them folded in half, and then you can put them in your like I just used a regular standard size hole punch, and then put this in there in a way that I could see the white, and then just punch that, and it made a perfect little semicircle in there, and it was just, I thought, brilliant. So I will be using that little trick from now on as well. Okay, so now I'm going to glue the back of this one. I guess it's the back, I don't know. I'm going to glue this side. I guess I should make sure it's right side up. Oh, gosh. So, okay, I have actually, it's a good thing I checked, because that is right side up. So what I'm going to do is try and extricate myself from that. And there we are. Let's see, I got a little bit of time to zhuzh it. So I'm gonna try and center it a little bit better. Make sure it's relatively straight. Looks pretty good to me. And then I will do the same with the other. I like totally glued that page up too much. So this is the back. And now I will get the second tab and sort of I'll place it roughly where I want it to be, and then try and align it with this one. Let's go over this way a bit. I don't know why I feel like they have to be, you know, basically identical, but that's just the way my wee brain works. And I don't want them to be glued together. Okay. So let me just do a little evaluating of the fold quality. See if there's anything that needs to be trimmed down or just inked up. Yeah, that one looks pretty darn good to me. Don't see any white bits. Let's see what this one looks like. There's a skosh there. And that my pre-inking didn't hide very well. So I'll just see if I can ink it. And if not, I'll cut it off. Now I need to ink the spines as well. I know I did one of them. This thing's just falling apart. Look at all of that. Look at all of that. That's just falling off of that guy. Well, I'm never buying the cheapo ones again. That's just obviously where my problems lie. That makes me sad and mad and all kinds of not good feelings. Okay, I ended up having to throw that one away, so let me get a fresh one. I have to let it dry a bit. But that is one good thing about using these archival inks. They don't transfer very easily from page to page. Okay, let me grab some tea or coffee dyed papers over here. To put inside of our little booklet. And it's not going to be quite, it's not quite small enough to just fold these in half. Maybe this way it is. Let's see. Let me take one and fold it in half. These are just obviously standard 8.5 by 11 US letter size pages. They're a bit short-ish. Is that good enough or no? Something inside me says no. So I'm going to refold a skosh wider, taller, I guess is what I'm really looking for. Skosh taller. Let's see what that sizing looks like. A bit taller still. Ugh, quit curling. Right, I think that's a good height. See if we can do it straight-ish. And there we are. So that paper needs to be a little less than 6.5. Let's get it straight. Yeah, 6 and 3/8 by 5 and 7/8. Yeah, 5 and 7/8. Okay. But of course, what I'm going to do is trying hard to get this folded straight. This is actually tea-dyed paper. It smells delicious. Makes me want a cuppa. Okay, so I'm going to cut, which is the orange one. I'm going to cut. Come on. Thanks. Cut that. And then make sure I've got the proper size. And then cut that. And then I will take these and cut them accordingly. Let me just put them all in my paper cutter. Slide back here. Right. I line this one up properly. With those. And then again, that curvy corner is making me crazy. And like that. Let's see what we get. See what we get when we fold them in half. This way. Not at all close to perfect. Or even very good. But that's that. And I suppose I could round these corners and ink the edges, and I may do that at a future point in time, but for now I'm just going to put them inside of it because it's not going to be sewn into the folio. It's just going to be put in with sort of a belly band effect. So let me get this guy folded. Let me get him folded along this line here. Like so. Oops. Now this sort of seems to be a non-directional paper, I guess. So it could go, this could be the top with the scissors in the corner, or this could be the top with the flowers up there. So, that was not even in half. Try again. I'm glad I didn't, burnish it yet. And you're going to slide apart. Let's see. looks good. Now I will squish it down and put the paper inside of it and move it up a bit. Oh, sticking out the ends there. Yeah, I will have to do something about that as well. But for now, good enough. Okay, so now we get to the cover. Let me do some scoring. This is the back flap out piece that holds the waterfall pockets. So it is, you know, it's not a flat fold. There's a bit of a spine to it. Sure there is. Anyway, yeah, there's a bit of a spine to it. So we will crease along again the, I don't know how that is accomplished, those fold lines, but that's why smarter people than I are the creators. I'm just the player. Anyway. Just score them a bit and then fold them back. And burnish. And burnish. And burnish. Sounds like I'm teaching a exercise class. Okay, so this is gonna go this way. With this attached in here before you put the back cover on it. See? So yeah, so that end is hidden and it folds over and holds the accordion piece. So, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm gonna set that aside with the accordion stuff, or the waterfall as she calls it. Okay, so, and then I need the actual bones of the cover. And I guess it doesn't matter which side is the front and back or the insides. So either way, we start with the fold lines. Like so. And like so. All right, so the spines are going to need to be inked again. Yeah, that's the way that went. And whenever you do the gluing on using these tabs or insertions or whatever, it's best to make sure you avoid the actual fold line so that you leave room for the actual fold to perform. If you put too much in the actual crease of the fold, it'll not fold straight. So let's get this glued. bring my glue book in again. Get this glued. And again, I'm going to use my wet glue. And sort of place it in the center, top to bottom of the back. Like so. And again, like I said, you gotta make sure you leave room for your object to fold around. It's a bit too far out. Far out, man. Okay. Well, hi, Penny. Are you okay? I'm gonna put a bit of ink on that because I'm not really sure what happened here. Not really sure. It looks like the paper cracked, but I mean, it's not old paper. C'est la vie. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a second. I believe Miss Penelope needs to go outside since it has stopped raining. So I will be right back with you in no time flat. Okay, once again, I am back. Hopefully that's the last interruption. So I also went ahead and inked the spine rather heavily because I really like that grunge look. Okay, so I think I might have done the attaching on the wrong side, but I don't feel like it matters much because both sides are going to be covered by something else. So this is the this is the front, and we can go ahead and attach the front and the back of the actual folio. So I'm gonna use both glue stick and the wet glue just for quickness and then in the long run extra longevity, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like it's the thing to do in this situation, so that's what I'm gonna do. So these are supposed to be sized so that you leave about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Oh, look, I said I was going to use both, and then again I didn't. So here I go. Good thing I didn't stick it down yet. So around the edges mostly is where I want this to make sure it stays stuck, so the edges don't come up. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean. Okay, so this is the front. And that looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna just give this a quick run around with the damp cloth. See, yeah, she says it hardly picks up any of that. Except when you get the paper wet, it picks up the actual paper color. It's okay. Lesson learned. So let me use this. Pistol whips. And let's get the back down as well. Boy, I am going through the book pages, because I don't want any of this to get glue on the front of it. So it's like, I feel like everything I glue, I'm turning the page for the next item. But you know what? It's okay. Better safe than sorry. Try and get a little less enthusiastic about the amount of glue I put around the edges. And put it a little further from the edge. Come hither. Okay, just smudge that around a bit. And again, these are all, you know, they're decorative, but they're also like covering most of this flap here, or the attaching whatever, attaching attachment. So let's just smush that down, hope that no ink comes out, but oh, there you are. I will get that off when it dries. Oh, sorry, with the, I don't know, the glue eraser thing that I have. I don't know what it's made of. But it works very well. It just requires a little elbow grease, and it works best when the glue is dry. So, next thing is, we're gonna work on the waterfall part. So what we are going to do is make sure that the magnet part is not glued down yet. But we're gonna glue this about an inch of this closure. And again, I'm gonna use both types of glue. Sure am. Let me get the oogie boogie off of it again. Wow, that's excessive. All right. So about there. And again, you know, most people would measure to make sure that's exactly centered, but I guess I'm not most people. I have to look at this again. What are we doing? What am I doing here? What am I doing? What am I doing? I did put that on wrong, and it is going to make a difference because, as you can see, there's going to be room around there. Let me put this on the back as it's supposed to be. While I scratch my brain and try and figure out what I'm going to do on the other side. I don't think I have any extra pages printed or that printed wrong, but I shall check. Boy, this project is definitely not being done by a pro. But I have to keep reminding myself that, I mean, Tinne is the one that designed this whole thing. She probably spent hours upon hours folding and gluing different bits of paper and you know, the repetition of all of it made her very fast. Not to mention the fact that she, you know, pauses the video and all that kind of happy-dappy. But she did herself make a couple of errors in assembling hers on the video, and, you know, it's kind of reassuring that nobody does everything exactly correct every time. So, yeah. Let me find something. Let me go look over here for something. Sorry. I should never sing. Even if I'm just making the song up myself, I should never, ever sing. Actually, I have a piece of this, which I think will work just fine, because this is the inside of this, so that can be the inside of that, and this is this, and that is that. I'm sorry, it's... Okay. I have a solution. Let's see if I can get it, to the right size. That'll be a miracle in itself. I kind of wish I hadn't gone ahead and glued this side down, because that would be the exact measurement that I need it to be. So I'm just gonna cut a hunk of this off that I know is too big so that it'll fit in my cutter. And, you know, I printed something else on the side for another project, but you know what? It's okay. I need it for this project first and foremost. So I'm gonna go pencil. There's a pencil. Oh, that's a dull pencil. Let me get where's my real pencil? Gwendolyn. Oh, there it is. My daughter loves a basic number 2 pencil, and I prefer the mechanical because I have such a heavy hand. I break regular pencil chips like very easily. So right now I'm just going to worry about getting the height of it correct, and then I'll worry about the width of it. So there's my first pencil mark. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be the exact measurement of that because it's going on the inside versus the outside. They won't be seen at the same time, but it's just the way I operate. Right, so that is the correct height. Now let's see. That's fantastic. All right, this is the width of it here. And let's just chop that buckaroo off. Ink it around. Ink it around. Ink it around. Sorry. There I go. Sort of singing again. I don't want ink on top of this because this darn thing is spitting out some crumbs already. I mean, I just put it on there for this project. Literally, before I started inking all of these, it was sparkly clean, brand new. white or whatever color it starts out its job being. Okay, so now we cover up now we cover up the inside panel. I shall use, oh, what in the name of all that's holy? Oh, thank goodness it's going to be covered up. Right. Glue stick going down. I really need to get another glue stick because this one's popping apart. Something's happening in the ball game. Something's happening out there. Okay. I really am done, I hope. Singing. Yeah, I'm definitely going to wear out that glue eraser thingy. Make sure I don't get any more of that glue someplace, or glue ink someplace else. That really has me upset, but like I said, it's going to be covered, so that's okay. Right, let me press this down. And I did not put any liquid glue on it because I've realized I'm just making a mess with that I may not be able to recover from. Okay, so before I put these inside panels on, it's time to address the envelopes. So the envelopes go in this way. One goes this way, and you sort of have to force it to go around the bulk of itself because I did use fairly heavy cardstock. Definitely not, you know, printer paper weight like I did on this one. I did do, like I said, printer paper weight, but doubled up, it would be okay. But singly, I don't think it would. I think it would be too thin altogether to withstand any kind of wear and tear. So, right, this one goes this way, and this one goes this way. So we're not going to attach this to the spine, obviously. So we have to fold that connecting piece backwards and attach it here to the actual inside front, like so. This one will go this way, and this one will go this way, and I will try very hard to get them the same height, the same distance from the top, and the same distance from the spine, just so it will be pleasing to the eye. Right, so this one gets glued this way. I have to turn it sideways, sorry. This one gets glued. Did I do it again? No. This one gets glued this way. And I can move it over just a skosh. It's pretty thick, and you do not want it to interfere with the functioning of the spine. So I see that I've got a little bit of the white on top and bottom, not exactly perfectly even, but I think it's very good. Right, so I'm gonna squish this down. And then I'm going to try and place this one the same space from the top and bottom. So let me ink-a-dink-a-dink, or not ink, what am I doing with this? Is a glue. This is glue. What are you out already. No, just pitching a fit. That's fine. Pitch your little fit, but I was just talking good about you. Okay, it's fine. Okay. So, what do we think of that placement? That went pretty darn well, I think. That's what I think. Okay, so now you see a little bit of why we do the cover basically last, because all of these connecting pieces are going to be relatively hidden by the inside inside panels. So before, I can go ahead and put this front panel in. Let me turn this so I don't get any glue on it, on the front of it. All right. Didn't I say I needed a new glue stick? Yes, I did. Did I go get a new glue stick? No, I did not. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I know, it's excessive, but I really don't want to get any glue on the front of it. All right, glue stick, you are done for. In the trash you go, and then I have another one right here that my daughter was using. So yeah, my daughter was over here yesterday, and I'm sorry I talk about her so much, but she's, you know, she is here every day. She lives just right up the road. She's a stay-at-home mom. I'm at home all the time, so yeah, we talk all the time. Anyway, so she was over here making her husband's Father's Day cards. She got beautiful foot and handprints from her son, and then one of them, the footprint she made into a hammer, and the handprint she made into a fish. She made two because she couldn't decide which one she liked, so she made two. Anyway, so she was over here working on those, and I said, oh, it's just like back in the olden days when she was in high school, we both did decorative planners. So every Sunday we would sit and do our play planners is what we called it. And we got her her best friend, Kelsey. We got her involved in it. So I bought her a journal, and she would play planner with us. I bought her a planner. Happy Planner is what we did. So yeah, it was just a little nostalgic. Okay, so this as I said, the booklet is going to be put in sort of with a belly band. So this is the belly band it's going to be put in with. So in order to slide the booklet in and out, you can't have, you know, if you put the attachment strip right up to the spine, you're not going to have room to slide the booklet in and out of. So I am giving it about a half an inch. Yeah, a half an inch clearance space is what I'm calling it. So, and it's very handy that this inside panel is polka dotted, because I can pretend that's lines. I can get the journal strip, the journal hanging strip, whatever it's called, you know, sort of straight. And then we'll take the, I sort of center it from top to bottom and fold it over, not too tightly, because again, you want to have room for the booklet. I don't know, but for some reason I felt like that was upside down. Okay, so you want to have room for the booklet to sit comfortably under the band, so you don't want it to be too tight, but of course you don't want it to be too loose either. So I'm just gonna very carefully turn it this way and crease it. On the top and the bottom. Oh, jeez Louise. And then take these. I should have done this on a glue page. Yes, I was just checking to see where there was already glue. And then I'm gonna, well, actually, I think I'm gonna use the wet glue on this, so it will hold, because I imagine it will get a lot of wear and tear taking the booklet in and out. So there. And there. Okay. And before I attach this to the inside back of the journal, I'm gonna just put a little bit of ink there and there. Oh, it won't stand up on its own. Right. Now I am going to apply the glue and try very hard not to disturb that band. Don't bother the band. I'm with the band. Sorry. I have been able to say that in my life. Just a local band, but you know, hey. Oh, I'm with the band. I don't need to pay cover. Thanks. I mean, it's the little things in life. Okay, now let's put this in here. Sort of as close, that's way not straight. Oofy. I kind of wanted it closer over here, but I guess that's gonna be okay, because that's where it went down. That's where the whole thing went down. Right, so now I'm gonna flap this a little bit to get the envelopes used to going both ways. Turning back and forth and back and forth. Okay, now I'm going to put my little faux journal in here. I mean, how did that possibly get glued down? I have to be a little, obviously, a little gentle with it till the glue dries. And I will neaten up those pages. What do I think about that? It flops open quite a bit. Well, I will see. Maybe if as the pages flatten out, because they are quite curly on the edges. Anyway, that's the way it's going. All right, so this guy, I'm gonna go ahead and put these cards in the pockets because they are just cute. And I want to make sure I didn't fold anything closed. So so that the cards don't slip in there easily. Right, lovely. I'm really excited about that. Okay, so now what I am going to do is put this in here. But obviously, if you glue the whole thing down, you're going to basically make the back pocket very difficult to get things in and out of, because it will be glued down like a regular pocket. So in order to keep the sort of accordion effect, I'm just going to glue it down. And Tinne did this too. Just glue in the middle like we did to attach them to each other. So just a bit of glue, middle-ish. You know, if you're more precise than I am, you find the middle and apply the glue and put this down. I like to put it sort of towards the bottom because that makes more room for things to slide in and out the top. And I'm also going to try and get it right inside of the lines of the paper panel there. Okay, so give that a good press down. Now I will try and make this fold. I don't know that I want it to stick up like that, but I guess that's the way it's going to be. And then I will get another magnet. And it found its friend. And what I am going to do is, it's nowhere near the center of that thing. It's okay. I'm going to push down on this rather forcefully and see if it left, yeah, it left an indent where the magnet is. I know you can't see it and I can barely feel it, but that's where I'm going to put the glue. Drop the magnet in it. Sure am. Drop the magnet in it. Put that all on it. I don't know if this is going to work, but I don't know of any other way. See the button moving underneath. Ended up being too thick for the magnet to be effective. We'll see what happens when it dries. I'm pretty sure the magnet has found, yeah, where it needs to be. So I'm just going to glue that and leave this unattached until that glue dries. Look at my fuzzy hands. These wipes don't work very well, do they? Right. Well, that's not happy making. I wonder if putting 2 magnets under the button would work. Actually, I think, in my humble opinion, I think this should be here. Anyway, without the magnet, of course. This should just be glued on here, decoratively. Yeah, so I'm going to use a different kind of closure than the magnet on here. I'm probably going to use the my good old go-to Velcro closures. I think they will work just fine. Yes, I'm thinking, what can I put there to fix my boo-boo? I know. I think I know. Let me get my hole punch and a piece of this paper. My small hole punch. I probably could have gone with a just a this size punched hole. It might be too small though. I'm not going to ink this, I'm not going to ink it because I really don't want it to stand out that much. It'll be that obvious. So I'm just going to put some glue on it. Put it here. Dab up the extra glue. Leave some fuzz on it. Right, and then just attach that there. Okay. It still sticks out a little bit. Okay, so there we are. All right, so my first try it is done. I'll have to come up with Tinne before she put the front and the back panels on. She attached a couple of pieces of ribbon underneath in between the front and back panels and used that as a closure. And it's quite cute, but I think I will just get a whole all the way around ribbon. Let's see what I have. Got to see what I have to use for a closure, because we need some closure. Well, where even is my ribbon? I know it's here somewhere. Oh, my daughter came in and tidied up my craft room for me. Now I don't know where anything is. Okay, so yeah, for now we will Oh gosh, I forgot something. I forgot the little pockets. This is the easy part. So yeah, we're just gonna attach these like regular pockets, because that's basically what they are, pockets. And Tinne had them put in sideways like this, but I guess you could always, we'll try it this way, put them in this way. Straight good. It's gonna be a bit close-ish, but that's okay. They're best friends. I have decided they're gonna be forced to be best friends because they're both in this together. Get up there. Okay. And we'll put our little cards in there. Like so. I think that is so cute. I will be using this little ephemera design in the future. You can bet on that. Okay, so there is my very first Theresa Tries It project. I hope you enjoyed this project. I know the video was quite long, but I appreciate you sticking with me, and I hope that you liked this little idea. And if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I will be happy to try something else. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.